tubies, Dice Rolling here, and for today I am going to give you the 4th video in my Dice Rolling Scarefest, and this is going to be my top 10 creepiest creepypastas. Brace yourselves. I have scoured the darkest, deepest, and most frightening crevices and corners of the internet to find the best creepypastas for you. You're welcome. Now obviously with some of these creepypastas, they're not true. And we know they're not true. But that doesn't mean that they're not still creepy in their own way. So without further ado, this is my top 10 creepiest creepypastas. Number 10. Dead Bart. This one is kind of hard to explain as to why it's so creepy to me. I don't even watch The Simpsons, but I'm well aware of them. And when I heard this creepypasta being read, it gave me a heaviness in my stomach because it was just so morbid and depressing and unnerving all at once. It wasn't even the part about the guest stars' gravestones that got me. It was the part of Bart falling out the plane window. That was creepy. It's just a very eerie thing when someone takes something that you've watched through your childhood and makes it very morbid. Number 9. Smile Dog. As soon as I watched this video with the narration, I went, screw this. But of course, because I am such a masochist, I watched and listened to it all the way through. I can't really say it was the storyline that was creepy to me. It was just that freaking picture. As soon as I saw it, my heart just went, nope. And then it got worse when I saw the second picture of what happens when you ignore it. There's just too much nope with that one for me. I even told my mom not to open any emails if she saw a Smile Dog picture attached to it. Number 8. Rat King. This is another one that I listened to instead of just read for myself. And my initial reaction was just kind of grossed out a bit because of these skinless, meatless rats that they were talking about. I was wondering what exactly the creepy part was and what the hell was up with the fork that this woman in the story kept seeing. As soon as I got to the end, I was totally creeped out. It played with my sometimes extreme disliking for darkness and what could be lurking in there, not to mention being alone. Number 7. Scarecrow Corpse. I first listened to this one just this year. I actually noticed it on my YouTube feed and saw it was narrated by Markiplier, so I thought it wouldn't be so bad. Bullshit! My first mistake was watching/listening to this at night. My second mistake was assuming it wouldn't be that bad. No need for a third mistake, 2 was all it took. I'm usually not too creeped out by stories involving government cover-up or anything like that. As a matter of fact, they usually bore me. But that's not what the creepy part is about this one. It's the Scarecrow Corpse itself. There is just something completely unnerving to me about a silent and motionless humanoid thing that you just know is alive somehow. And the eyes constantly staring at you? That's just seriously messed up. Number 6. The Chanting in the Woods. I'm actually the type of person who really enjoys spending time in the woods and around nature. But I've seen enough movies and read enough creepy shit to know that it's not always that great. But this story takes my unease about what could be lurking in the dark and combines that with the sense of isolation that could come from the woods. It's a long story, but it's actually pretty well written and very creepy. Number 5. The Lost Children of Fairfield. Creepy stories involving children, especially when they're the cause of fear, are probably always going to unnerve me, if not freak me out. This is no exception for me. And even though this is a creepypasta, it's unfortunately not far from what has and could actually happen. Number 4. 1999. This is another long one, but it's just so disturbing. Even though the children involved in this story aren't the ones to be afraid of, it's no less creepy. It also incorporates that element of creepy childhood shows and a mask-wearing psychopath. Number 3. Surveillance. This one plays with that fear that I think a lot of people have about being home alone. Even if you're an adult and you live by yourself, you can still get freaked out by some things. And this is a story that takes that fear of what could be lurking outside of your safe zone and amps that up. Number 2. Doors. This one really didn't seem that creepy to me till I got to the end. It's one of those with a twist ending that you may not have seen coming, and once you get it, everything else in the story makes sense. It's actually very well written, and the hints in it are very subtle, but once you read the ending, they're very obvious. In hindsight, it really shouldn't be creepy, at least to me. But once it's all put together, it becomes very creepy. Number 1, Slender Man. Now obviously you guys know who he is, and even though he is rather creepy and even a frightening creature, that isn't entirely the reason why I picked him for the number 1 spot. What creeps and even freaks me out the most about this creepypasta is how seriously some readers take it. You've already probably heard nearly all of the stories about the people who have killed or attempted to kill because of Slender Man. And honestly, it's not the story's fault. These people are mentally unstable. There's something seriously wrong with them, and Slender Man just happens to be the story that they latch onto for an excuse or to focus an obsession on. So to sum it up, I chose Slender Man for the top spot because of his most extreme fans. The fact that there are people out there who take the story so seriously that they are willing to kill for it, that is a creepypasta in itself. Now before you get all upset because I didn't mention one of your favorite creepypastas, just know that this is my opinion. These are the ones that creep me out. And honorable mentions goes to Jeff the Killer. Son of a bitch. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Or maybe even got a little creeped out. Maybe you even discovered some new creepypastas that you hadn't heard of before. And I hope that in some way, I keep you up tonight. That's not an innuendo, shut up. If you did like this video, please like, share, comment, subscribe. You know all that. I really appreciate it all the same. And just as a shameless plug, I am planning to, sometime in the future, do a video adaptation, short film if you will, of my own creepypasta called The Attic. I think it's kind of creepy, and when I finished writing it, I actually had some nightmares. So if you want to check it out, please do. I would really appreciate that, and look forward to the video that I plan on making, as I said, in the future. See you later. See you next week.